feeling stretched thin, constantly busy, yet wondering if there's more to life than simply getting through the day? Maybe you've lost sight of who you are beneath all of the responsibilities. Maybe your faith feels rushed, your dreams have been sitting on a shelf, and you're craving more peace, purpose, and direction. Friend, you're in the right place. Welcome to the Anchored with Purpose podcast. I'm your host, Melissa Wilkinson, a Catholic wife, mom, author, speaker, and coach, passionate about helping women reconnect with God, live with greater intention, and confidently step into the purpose that He has for you. Each week, you'll hear honest conversations, inspiring stories, practical encouragement, and faith-filled wisdom to help you deepen your relationship with God, strengthen what matters most, and pursue the dreams that God has placed on your heart. Whether you're navigating a season of transition, searching for clarity, or simply longing to feel more anchored in your everyday life, you'll find encouragement and community here. So whether you're unloading the dishwasher, sitting in the school pickup line, or out for a morning walk, or checking off one more thing on your to-do list, know that you're not alone. Take a deep breath, grab your coffee, and let's spend the next few minutes getting anchored with purpose together. Let's grow in faith, live with purpose, and become the women God has created us to be. Welcome to Anchored with Purpose. Hey friend, welcome back to the Anchored with Purpose podcast. I'm so glad that you're here today because I thought it would be fun to do something just a little bit different. Lately, I've been doing a lot of interviews, which I love. Interviewing is my sweet spot, but I wanted to invite you into our summer for a little bit, kind of share some of the things that we've been learning as a family. Some of them have been very intentional, and some have been kind of some unexpected gifts that we've experienced because things haven't been going according to plan. And I have to share with you that honestly, this summer started looking different before it even began. At the beginning of June, while the boys were still in school and I was away on a work trip, Jeff unexpectedly needed some major surgery. So I ended up having to leave my work trip a day early so that I could get home in time for his surgery. So if you can imagine, things were already starting super chaotic. If you've ever come home from a trip, you know that there's some transition time needed. And there was no time for transition before it was boom into major surgery. As part of that recovery, we had to cancel our first family trip of the summer, where we were supposed to spend Father's Day weekend in Philly with my brother and his crew. We had tickets to a Mets game, plans to explore historic Philadelphia, and it was a trip we've been looking forward to for months. And instead, we stayed home. And at the time, it was kind of, a little bit of FOMO, because we always try and take the kids to a Mets game for Father's Day weekend. It was like World Cup and Philly was packed with international travelers. But, I realized that unexpected change kind of set tone for summer. And so this summer, I wanted things to feel a little bit different. And one of my favorite things about summer so far is that for a little while, life slows down. We don't have our sports schedules dictating every evening. There's finally room to breathe. And I knew that this summer I wanted some more margin, more time by the pool, more time together, and more time to simply enjoy the season. But here's the thing. I wanted a slower summer, but I didn't want a lazy summer. Does that make sense? I didn't want to become like the cruise director of summer vacation, feeling like it was my job to entertain the boys and their friends every minute of the day. And in fact, we intentionally didn't sign up for camps this summer. I wanted them to experience the gift of being home, the gift of getting bored a little bit and learning how to use their time well. This summer, and I'll talk about this, Andrew's got his first job this summer. He just turned 14. But I also didn't want summer to become endless video games and snacks. I wanted it to be a summer where we all grew, as far as responsibility and independence and hospitality. And I look back over the past several weeks, And this is what's been happening already. And it's not because we had any sort of elaborate summer plan, because we didn't, and any plan I had certainly went out the window. Oh yeah, because I didn't mention. So Jeff had this major surgery at the beginning of June. I had surgery just last week. I had a big chunk of my shoulder cut out for some skin cancer removal. So that kind of put the kibosh on a lot of things and really forced me to slow down where, I'm normally super active. I was forced to kind of just settle in and rest a little bit. And I think God's teaching me somewhere through that. Another place where I feel like He's teaching me this summer is that we're not just raising kids, we're raising future adults. And so I know that some of the most important lessons that our kids are going to learn, especially this summer, are not going to come from a camp, but they're going to learn through some life experience. And we're going to have some great times too. We've got some fun vacations coming up, but I'm really looking forward to getting to spend some intentional time together. Now, I want to talk about something that I talked about a little bit last summer, and that was what I dubbed Life Skills Camp. And what's funny is that if you haven't been with me since last summer, I'll share with you kind of how it came about. I was in my office working, and I was on Zoom meetings and getting things done. And in between meetings and tasks, I would find myself running to the laundry room just to like switch a quick load of laundry. So, and as I was doing this, I was noticing the kids right outside of my office on the couch, just sitting gaming. And I remember feeling so frustrated, thinking, hey, wait, hang on a second. I am rushing to switch their laundry in between meetings and running back to my desk and working, and they're literally just sitting there. These are some strong, capable boys. And I had been doing laundry since I was 8 years old. And I kind of figured, you know what, if I was old enough to do it at 8, they were certainly old enough to do it. So I had said right then and there, we're going to do life skills camp. And what did it include? Well, it included things like laundry. It included things like teaching them how to prep and cut vegetables and fruits and prepare some meals. But really, like, what it has kind of become was like, hey, let me show you how to do this anytime the opportunity presented itself. Now, I will share this caveat. It takes a little bit of time. So would it be faster for me just to go ahead and do the laundry rather than painstakingly teach them how to do the laundry? Yeah, sure. It'd be a lot faster. But I want to tell you what has really been amazing. After I invested that time in teaching them how to do it, I mean, when I say do the laundry from start to finish, it's bring your hamper down. Here's how much laundry fits as a load. Here's how much laundry detergent you put in. Here's how you use the washing machine. Okay, now set a timer and now switch it to the dryer. And here's how to use the dryer. And don't forget to clean out the lint trap every time. I mean, it's those tiny little details that I had to teach them. But friend, here is the beautiful thing. They now, for the last year, have been doing all of their own laundry. It is a huge blessing. I have not had to do their laundry. And well, I will tell you, that's actually false. I've done their laundry a few times. Here's the beautiful part of what's happened though. If it's like a busy week for school and sports for them during the school year, I've said things like, hey, I'll tell you what, bring your laundry down, get it started. While you're at school, I'll switch it for you and you can fold it when you get home. Listen, friend, you would have thought I said, I'm going to give you $20. These kids were so delighted that I had said, I'm going to help you with it, because now laundry had become just a weekly expectation that they had to do in addition to their regular chores. And if you've been with me for a while, you know that chores are something that I think are so important in a kid's development. You know, in a household, only the babies can't help, right? But here, these growing kids, they can contribute and they can help. And kids need that type of discipline and they need to be able to pitch in. It's so good for their development. And now that folding laundry has really become just a habit of theirs. They now, whereas before it was me doing everything except for putting it away for them, now they do everything start to finish. And if I help them, they're super grateful rather than just being entitled and thinking I'm going to do it for them. And this has really been so helpful in other places or in other, parts of the workload. So I think I've shared with you before, they already clean their bathrooms every week. They have different chores where it involves bathrooms, including toilets, mirrors, emptying the garbage. They do those kind of things weekly. They make their own beds daily. They do all of these regular chores, and we pay them an allowance with this. I use the Greenlight app. I cannot say enough great things about Greenlight. And I'm going to just have to share with you some of those things that I love and how this has been so effective. We've been using it for years. So the kids get paid per week based on how old they are. So now Andrew's getting $14 a week. Sean's getting $11 a week. It gets paid to them automatically. I don't have to think about it because I never have cash. I don't carry cash. So this makes it simpler. The other thing that I love about it, and this is another great life skill for them, it helps them budget. So 10% of what they make automatically goes into a tithing account so that they can give to the charity of their choice. That's teaching them tithing right off the bat. So then another percentage, I can't remember how much, goes into savings right off of the bat. And then they're only left with a certain amount. Now, they also both invest through the Greenlight account, which this has sparked some great life skills conversations as well, because they talk about investing with Jeff. They talk about which stocks they want to invest in. It's really cute to see them get excited. Sometimes they're choosing stocks based on the video games that they like, or like I think it's called Take Two, which is the stock ticker for Andrew's favorite video game. Sean invests in Campbell's Soup because they own some of his favorite snack companies. It's literally just like based on the things that they like, but they're also informed about it. So that has been a fun life skill. And if I didn't love it enough already, I have to tell you, we had to fill out some paperwork for Andrew for his first job. And here's how I'm going to connect these two life skill things together. This is key. So first of all, the paperwork came in. And Jeff said, I'm going to fill that out for him tonight. And I said, no, you're going to fill that out with him tonight. You're going to let him write it all in. He needs to learn how he has to use his social security number. He has to learn how to fill out a direct deposit form. He has to learn that these papers are a part of life. And he did, and he didn't love it, but he learned. But the other cool thing is, when I got this paperwork in, I was like, oh, shoot, we don't have a checking account set up for him. Let me just check the Greenlight app and see if there's anything in there. Sure enough, there was a direct deposit form with the numbers. I just printed out a form for him, and then he could put in the routing number and the account number, and now his paychecks are going directly to Greenlight. I just can't say enough great things about it. I promise this is not sponsored, but I can give you a free $50 to Greenlight. If you click the link in the show notes, you can just use my referral code when you use it for your first month. And it's so inexpensive to use. Like I think it's like $5 a month, and it is well worth it for what you get and for the peace of mind. But it's $5 a month for it. But you get $50 for your parent account after you use it for your first month. So worth it. Take that $50, friend, and then you can use that for paying allowance for your kids. But that's been another great life skill because it's teaching them to save. Andrew just saved for this e-bike that he wanted. Lord, help me. This has been a test in my parenting and a test in my trust in the Lord too. It hasn't come in yet. I didn't want him to get this e-bike, but he saved up enough money for it in his savings account with Greenlight. But anyway, okay, so multiple life skills woven in through there. And teaching the kids life skills can be something as simple as the other day we had a clogged drain. So I said, all right, kids, come in here. I'm going to teach you how to use Liquid Plumber, and taught them how to do it. The second time around, it was a pretty rough one. The second time that timer went off, I was actually in a meeting for work, and Andrew already knew what to do. He took the hot water up and flushed it out, and he did it. It was amazing. Another fun life skill, I mentioned how Andrew has his first job. It's teaching him how to know when you need to leave for work, teaching him some of those skills, where those interpersonal skills like learning the names of the people you're working with, learning how to ask if anybody needs help, learning how to put your schedule in your calendar. So that way, you know when you're working. It's these little things that you or I wouldn't really think are a big deal, but friend, these are a big deal for your kids. They're really teaching them life lessons. Sean actually had his first little job of the year, which was really cute. We had a neighbor who was going to Europe for 10 days and asked if one of the boys would get their packages and take care of the pool skimmer. And let me tell you what, Sean was so excited to do this. He also loves making money, just like his big brother does. And when we went over for the neighbor to show him what to do, I encouraged him to pull out the note section of his phone and take notes on all of the tasks and to put the dates in there. And then I showed him how to create a reminder so that at a certain time of the day, he would go over and handle these things. Oh my gosh, it was so cute. Every day, his little reminder would go off on his phone and he would say, "Oh, time for me to go do my job. I'll be right back." He was so cute. Like he treated this like it was a big deal. And that's another important life lesson. Teaching them how to use their phone as a tool, not just a distraction, not just a gaming device or communication device, but a tool for helping you to do things. Now, when it comes to things like getting help with like prepping food and that kind of thing, this has been so handy. I taught them how to do some of these things last summer, and I don't always take advantage of asking them for help during the school year. But a couple of weeks ago, I had like gone for a run in the morning. I had gone to Aldi and I had a ton of fruits and vegetables to prepare for the week. And it was kind of overwhelming, honestly. And I looked at Sean and I said, "Hey, I need your help. I need you to help me with the peppers and the cucumbers," his two favorite vegetables. So, of course, he's bought in. So, while I was in a whirlwind around the kitchen taking care of all of these other fruits and vegetables, all he had to take care of were these two. I kept a close eye on him. I helped him where he needed the help, but he was so excited to be able to contribute that way. And then when he pulled out his peppers to eat them or his cucumbers to eat them, he knew that he was the one who did all of that cutting and preparing. So he was not only like bought in to helping, but he was more excited about eating those rather, rather than just if I had chopped them all up and done all of that for them. So these are some of the ways those life skills are really coming into play this year, which is really beautiful to see. Now, one of my favorite parts of this summer has nothing to do with the chores or the jobs, but really it's watching our home become what we've prayed it would become. We have always wanted our house to be the house where all of the kids want to be. This is part of my prayers for our home and our family. And it's just really been beautiful to see how it's happening already. God has certainly blessed us that way. Now, I think it helps that we have a pool. And it's one of the things that's been really fun is when kids started inviting themselves over this year. Now, I know that might sound like, what? These kids are inviting themselves over? I have to say, I honestly love it. The first time it happened this year, we were at a tennis banquet and it was super hot. And the next day was going to be so hot that they were calling it a half day for the kids already. And I got there and one of my friends said, "Hey, just so you know, there's already chatter that your house is going to be the house where all of the kids want to hang tomorrow for this half day." And I was like, "Oh, all right, I've got 3 podcast interviews. Let me see what I can rework to make that work so that they can come over." And then just a few minutes after that, her daughter ended up coming up to her without even looking at me and said, "Hey, can we swim at the Wilkinsons after this? It's really hot." And my friend looked at me and I was like, "Absolutely. Everyone can come over." So it's been just so fun. That has kind of continued throughout the summer and I'm here for it. I love it. So as long as I have the availability to keep an eye, I love it. One of the things that I've been doing is I've kind of moved my office out to the sun porch for the summer. I'm recording in here. It's quieter, but trust me, when recording is done, I'll be back out there. And I love it because I can keep an eye on the kids. I'm right there in our kind of outdoor kitchen area on the sun porch. We've got a mini fridge out there, and I've got what I've called a boatload of snacks. I have this big planter that somebody gave me. It's in the shape of a boat. And I filled it right before, really right around that time where the kids had that half day because it was so hot, filled it with individual bags of snacks. And the kids love it because there's so many different kinds of snacks to pick out, whether it's popcorn or chips or Doritos or goldfish. But what's so funny is I've had to refill this thing multiple times because we've just had so many kids here. But I love it because the kids come here and they know that they are welcome, they are safe, and that they'll be fed. Now, I can't always promise what kind of snacks will be in the boatload of snacks, but these kids know that they're going to come here and be fed. One of the things that I love about this is that I can kind of see who's involved in my kids' lives. Who are the kids that they're hanging out with? And I don't mean this from a judgmental way. Because I can tell you, later in the spring of the school year, I started getting nervous about what I was hearing about some of the kids that one of my friends were hanging out with, or what that one of my kids was hanging out with. And I started getting concerned, and I found myself being a little bit judgmental about it. And then I took a new perspective on it. I said, Melissa, what these kids need is a positive influence. What they need is somebody praying for them. Maybe they don't have anybody praying for them. And you know that I pray over my kids daily. And so one of the things I decided to do was to make any kid welcome, whether it's somebody that I would necessarily approve of or not, whether it's somebody who I would have a concern about or not, because those kids need just as much prayer as my kids do. And another resolution that I made this summer was when I pray the rosary every day, that I'm now praying it for the kids of Glens Falls. That's my little city that I live in. And I will invite you to do the same thing for the kids in your town and your community. Pray for those kids because you never know what those kids are walking through or why they are doing some of the things that they do. So it's been really fun having all sorts of different groups of kids coming. And I'll tell you, they come at different times. The day of Andrew's 8th grade graduation was a half day for them. And it was really fun because we had planned for my crew of friends to come over. My parents were in town. Some of my friends' parents came. And a ton of kids were here. I think at one point I had like 22 kids and 13 adults. So over the course of the day, more kids came, some kids left. After the graduation party, Andrew and one of his buddies went to the park to play soccer, came back with a whole nother crew of kids to swim. And this kind of thing has been happening all summer. After the fireworks, we have July 3rd fireworks here. And after the fireworks, I didn't go to the fireworks. I was recovering from my surgery. Jeff was inside with the dogs. Sean and I got to watch them from the chaise lounges on our patio, which was just so relaxing. And Andrew showed up with a crew of kids. Unexpected. We weren't planning for this. And one of our friends who lives a little further away parked in our driveway that night. And her daughter got here before her. And we were chatting, and she had said, you know, I love that these kids can just show up at your house and hang. I wish I lived close like this, where I could just walk to a friend's house or like be the house where the kids can just walk to. And I have to tell you, it's really such a blessing. I absolutely love it. Does it get a little overwhelming? Sometimes it gets a little bit noisy, but I truly love it. I love being the place where the kids gather, where again, they know they're welcome, safe, and that they're going to be fed here. It's the kind of thing that my mom always did growing up. I remember I would come home on a Friday night from sometimes, guys, this is where I grew up. We would go country line dancing on a Friday night, and a whole crew of friends would come over. And my mom, who was probably dozing on the couch before I got home, would get up off of the couch at 10 o'clock at night and make whatever food these kids asked for. Now, I can't promise that I'm going to be making food at 10 o'clock at night because if you know me, you know that I go to bed super early. But I am the kind of mom that will feed these kids. So I know that this summer is looking a little bit different. And while we've got some big, beautiful vacations planned, I know that some of our big memories for the kids and the most impactful parts of summer are going to be some of these ordinary moments. And an ordinary moment like them learning a new life skill or getting to learn what it's like to work or just having some great times with their friends during their time off. I just have to tell you, it warms my mom heart to be able to see Andrew working his first job and being so excited about, and hearing Sean say things like, I'm going to go do my job, and seeing them reach some of their big goals with investing and saving through the Greenlight app. It's really just been so nice. And I have to tell you, you know how hard it is for me to go slow. It's been kind of nice, like having a different type of summer where last summer I was getting up super early to go to the gym every day. I've actually kind of taken a step back from that. I had to at first because of Jeff's surgery, and then I had to because of my own. I'm literally not allowed to work out right now, which is kind of hard because it's been such a big part of my life. But God's kind of showing me, that it is okay to slow down, and it's something that I need to do. So I'm kind of enjoying sleeping in a little bit later and not rushing around in the mornings. It's been just a different kind of summer, and I'm here for it. So, friend, I'm here to tell you, your ordinary moments matter. Your summertime matters. Whether your summer goes as planned or if it ends up being just a little bit different than what you thought it was going to be, make the most of it. And before we go, I want to give you just one little practical challenge. I'm going to encourage you, pick one life skill that you can teach your kids this month. One, it doesn't have to be anything big. It doesn't have to be laundry or unclogging a drain. It can be something simple like putting the pillows back on the couch, right? Anything like that. But teach it to them. And I want you to ask yourself this one question. What kind of family culture am I building through the small things I do every day? Because those small things, they rarely are just small. There's some of these big moments where characters form, where our children become adults, right? Like we're training them how to become adults. So I'm not saying have them grow up fast, but I'm just saying, think about these little things that are going to help them as they grow into adulthood. Friend, I am praying for you. I am hoping that you have such a wonderful summer. And don't worry, I'm going to end up sharing, what happens the rest of summer and what other things I learn. So as you're learning things this summer, please tag me on Instagram or shoot me an email to let me know. All right, friend, I'm praying for you. Remember, stay anchored with purpose. Friend, thank you so much for spending part of your day with me. If today's episode encouraged you, challenged you, or reminded you that you're not alone, would you do me a favor? Share it with a friend who could use a little encouragement too. And if you haven't already, be sure to follow the podcast and leave a review. This helps more women discover the show and become anchored with what matters most. For more faith-filled encouragement, free resources, and tools to help you live with purpose and intention, visit anchoredwithpurpose.com. And as you head back into your day, my prayer is that you walk away feeling encouraged, inspired, and a little more anchored in God's purpose for your life. Until next time, my friend, keep seeking God, keep showing up for what matters most, and keep pursuing the life He created you to live. Stay anchored with purpose.